Good evening, everyone. I'm Laura Ingraham. This is the Ingraham Angle from Washington tonight. Heroes and zeros. That's the focus of tonight's angle. Now, it was very tempting to start tonight by laying right into the dim-witted hypocrites at Saturday's No Kings rally. Yeah, don't worry. I'm going to get to them in a moment. But first, I want to tell you about a great patriot, Colonel Robert Wilburn Hill. It was one of the greatest privileges of my life to join his family as he was laid to rest at Arlington National Cemetery this morning. With the morning dew still kissing the grass, the sounds and sights of the burial with full military honors filled the fall air. Service, patriotism, sacrifice, humility. Those summed up Colonel Hill's life, and those are the traits we should elevate and celebrate daily. He passed away at age 93 4 years ago, but because of all the administrative delays, he couldn't be buried until today. His devoted wife, Joyce, who died last year, was buried with him. Bob Whiffy Hill enlisted in the Army in World War II and served in the Pacific Theater in the final months of the war. After college, he completed Officers Candidate School at Fort Benning. In the Korean War, he was company commander in the 1st Battalion, 31st Infantry Regiment. And he fought in the brutal Pusan Perimeter Offensive in September of 1950. This is a picture of Bob with his helmet from that battle, one of the 2 times he was wounded in the head. He was also an airborne rifle infantry commander with the 82nd Airborne, and in the Vietnam War, he served as commander of the Special Operations Group. So in an era when so many on social media brag about nothing, and when so many, including over the weekend, spend their time running down America, Bob's story of quiet humility and gratitude took my breath away.
On behalf of the President of the United States Army, and the grateful nation, please accept this flag as a symbol of our appreciation for your loved one's honorable and faithful service.
420,000 patriots are buried in Arlington because freedom is not free. And unlike in a monarchy, freedom of speech is guaranteed to all of us in the United States. Of course, junior high school students should know that if we lived under a king, this weekend's anti-Trump rallies would have been prohibited. But instead, the No Kings buffoons were out in full force.
What has President Trump done to make him a monarch?
He started to take control and do illegal things and that are not within his power. So that's pretty much what makes a person a monarch. They take complete control even though they shouldn't have it.
What illegal things has he done?
Every single thing since he's gotten into office.
Deporting illegal immigrants, is that illegal?
If they came here illegally, I believe we're a country that stands for Lady Liberty. It said, give me your tired, give me everybody you can possibly bring into the United States, and it doesn't say ship them back out.
And half of the goofballs out there didn't even know what they were protesting.
What brings you out here?
Rising fascism.
What is fascism?
Well, if you look historically, when a government no longer follows the will of the people, that is a large part of fascism. I would direct you to some of the really good literature on the topic.
Can you define it?
And lawmakers, of course, they're no better.
We are not on the verge of an authoritarian takeover. We are in the middle of an authoritarian takeover. But Trump has not won. Our democracy is in peril, but it can be saved. It is up to us to save us.
It was like a bad high school theater production where the kids just didn't rehearse enough.
Are you willing to sit back and bend the knee to fascists and white supremacists? Are you willing to be the Americans on whose watch democracy died? Good, because people power is our last line of defense.
And if Trump, of course, were really a king, is this how one of his subjects would speak to him?
Tyranny in any form must be resisted by the people of conscience, especially here in Chicago. We will never surrender.
So Donald Trump, stay the hell out of Chicago.
When asked about it, Trump flicked him off.
When you look at those people, those are not representative of the people of our country. I'm not a king. I work my ass off to make our country great. That's all it is. I'm not a king at all.
Someone should tell Nancy, or I should say, someone should help Nancy.
Going to tear up the crown.
A lot of old-timers acting out, and of course, no rally would be complete without an appearance by a washed-up actor.
The whole country was founded on no kings. We have masked goons roaming the streets, hiding their faces, abducting people.
As he is literally hiding behind his sunglasses. Now consider the source. And by the way, that was the apex of his career. Say anything with the boombox. Maybe he should have done the whole little spiel there with the boombox. It would have been better. Of course, all these people are hypocrites. They call Trump a dictator when, in fact, Democrats are the ones who love ordering people around. What they did to our kids, our churches, our communities during COVID, forcing people to get the shots or they're going to lose their job, destroying lives with their stupid, dangerous edicts. As they ate and they traveled like royalty because the rules don't apply to them. They're protecting democracy? Then why did Barack Obama, George Clooney, and a few donors decide who would be their party's nominee in 2024? Why did their party try to kick Trump off the ballot only to get goose-egged by the Supreme Court? They want to control every aspect of your lives, banning the sale of gas-powered cars, preventing parents from having a say over the kids' choice of gender. Look, these agitator blowhards, they're conning themselves, they're conning you, or both. How many people over the weekend in frog outfits or Trump baby get-ups look worried that they were going to get locked up in some Stalin-esque prison or royal jail, please? In fact, Donald Trump came into office to take power away from the closest thing we've seen to royal families in this country, the Bushes, the Cheneys, and the Clintons. Well, a little historical knowledge might be too much to expect from a lot of the folks we saw over the weekend. Seems like many of the No Kings marchers had no clue.
Anything in particular you really dislike that Trump has done?
Was she in prayer? Enough said. And that's the angle.
Another world leader just stepped foot into the White House. The Australian Prime Minister is in town to cut some major deals. One problem? Someone in his entourage has TDS.
Have you had any concerns with this administration, with the stance on Palestine, climate change, or even things the ambassador said about you in the past, the Australian ambassador?
I don't know anything about him. I mean, if he said bad, then maybe he'll like to apologize. I really don't know. Did an ambassador say something bad about him? Don't tell me. I don't. Where is he? Is he still working for you?
Yeah.
You said bad?
Before I took this position, Mr. President.
I don't like you either. I don't, and I probably never will.
Once they got that out of the way, back to business. Trump cut an $8 billion rare earth deal down under. That means bye-bye, China.
In about a year from now, we'll have so much critical mineral and rare earths that you won't know what to do with them. They'll be worth about $2.
Trump's juggling a few balls here. He's peeling us away from China, keeping the Mideast peace, holding, and ending war in Europe. Being king ain't easy.
Why don't you just enable Ukraine to finish this war tomorrow?
Well, if you knew anything about what you were talking about, you'd be able. You do. I don't think you do, really. I don't think you do because it's a little more complicated than that. But it sounds easy. We're in the process of trying to make a deal. If we make a deal, that's great. If we don't make a deal, it'll be a lot of people are going to be paying a big price.
Zelensky was in the Oval last week. Reports say he got into a little bit of a shouting match with Trump. Trump warned Z that Russia would destroy him if he didn't freeze the front lines. And Zelensky left D.C. with no tomahawks. Trump's keeping those in his back pocket. If Putin plays games, Trump always has the option to sell them. We're looking at a global chess match right now. It's not just Russia Trump has to worry about. There's a lot of action in Latin America. Trump just bombed a Colombian coke boat, and he's not just doing it for the drugs. Sure, that's a part of it, but there are bigger things at play. Just like Venezuela, Colombia's cozying up with China. They joined the Belt and Road Initiative this year. That's no bueno. Now Trump's hitting them where it hurts.
They are a drug manufacturing machine, Colombia, and we're not going to be part of it. So we're going to drop all money that we're giving to them. And you look at the fields are loaded up with drugs, and they refine the drugs, and they make tremendous amounts of cocaine, and they send it all over the world, and they destroy families.
Colombia is talking tough for now. Soon they'll be like Venezuela, shaken like a dog. Maduro's panicking about a gringo invasion. His people are switching phones, changing beds, hiring new bodyguards. Maduro's worried about regime change. Trump focused on regime collapse. Venezuela has oil, gold, and minerals. This is the Monroe Doctrine 2.0, the Dunroe Doctrine. And China and Russia, don't let the door hit you on the way out.
It seems blacks hate being shot at almost as much as white liberals hate Trump hats. So on one hand, you have citizens who want safe streets, and on the other, those who want an end to monarchy. One problem is real, the other imaginary. Like Jesse's back hair and Jesse's head hair. It makes you wonder how easy your life must be that you get to march against something that is quite literally living inside your head. These people are lucky. They don't have serious problems, and they have lots of free time. They don't golf, and their families hate them. Like this fella, George Conway.
Hey, Donald J., how many kids did you start today? Hey, Donald J., how many kids did you start today? Hey, okay, that's it.
Pathetic. Did someone call an elephant gynecologist? Because I think we found a huge douche. Thank you. For all you 10-year-olds out there. Of course, Trump had to respond with a meme of him pooping from above. Altogether, we don't deserve him. Now, that pissed off the media, who found its absurdity disgusting. But if these people were any more humorless, they'd be Seth Meyers' writing staff. Absurdity was the whole point. That something as absurd as protesting kings in a country without kings doesn't merit anything more than a meme with poop landing on protesters. The only thing that could have made that meme funnier is if they had Pritzker looking up with his mouth open. You can call it dumb, but what deserves dumb? An imaginary solution to an imaginary problem, like Sydney Sweeney wanting to get breast implants. I told her no. So why are they pushing this made-up fear of a king? Could it be that they believe it? And if so, why? Maybe they're unfamiliar with real solutions. For years, they think having a conversation is a solution for crime or the border. All they do is talk and talk. It's like watching an action movie with your wife. But Dems never actually do anything. So when Trump comes in and gets stuff done, it comes as a shock. They think it's an autocracy because they aren't used to a president doing the job. You mean you can deport illegals and arrest criminals? Since when? Of course, they give reasons for the king delusion. Trump's taking away our rights. He's authoritarian. But these are concepts and impossible to score. Is there a statistic on how much authoritarianism we're experiencing? I'm sure CNN is working on that now that the climate stats are toast. But the Dems exist in a fake world of trans bathrooms and sanctuary cities, conceptual fantasies where solutions are terrible concepts too. But as Trump shows, you can actually fix things. And regular Democrats must wonder, why didn't our leaders think of this? Republicans focus on crime, drugs, immigration, because you can score them. And the only issues you can score are the real ones. If you can't measure it, then it's not real. It's just a concept, like children's soccer. If there's no scoring, it's just pointless exercise. Let's welcome tonight's guest. He puts on sunscreen when he opens the refrigerator. Fox News contributor Tom Shalhoub. She's hot and spicy, and having her on is always dicey. Fox News anchor Julie Banderas. He took first place in Last Comic Bathing. Founder of StudioTST.com, comedian Michael Loftus. And she brings a bowling ball to the movies so the seat doesn't flip up. New York Times bestselling author and Fox News contributor Kat Tipp. Tom, great to see you. Do you love how they have these like official numbers, and then you ask them where the numbers come from, like on how many people were at the rally, and they go, "Oh, we just asked the organizers." Yeah, exactly. And it keeps getting downgraded. I get it. It's an old group of people, but is there something else about it that you saw?
Well, they keep emphasizing that all these boomers were out there protesting against Trump. That's the narrative going on in the media. But as we know, most boomers are conservative, right, boomers? So, and when you watch these, sometimes you get the impression, you're like, wow, all these old people are liberal. But then, you go out to a comedy club and it's all these old people who love Tom Shalhoub. Yeah. But, yeah, there's so much to say about this. It's unbelievable. It's so true that it's all a narrative. And like you said, you look around for the authoritarianism. You mentioned CNN. I looked up CNN. They have an article, because I said, what are the examples of Trump's authoritarianism? And they listed the top 7 authoritarian things that Trump is doing. And none of them are really authoritarian. Yeah. They actually have, they say the number one thing that was authoritarian to CNN, they said a couple of his deportations had been knocked down by the courts.
Yeah, that's it.
That proves it's not authoritarian, because in authoritarian regimes, nothing gets knocked down by the courts. Yeah. And, so it's like they don't even have an idea of what authoritarianism is. And we've got to remember the worst authoritarian in American history, Barack Obama. He was more authoritarian than Trump. He took over the healthcare system. He was, killing people from the air. He killed so many more people with drones than George W. Bush. But if you ask people, they would say it's the opposite. Obama was absolutely the worst. The thing I love about that video, Kenny Loggins came out just before the show started, and he said, "I demand that my music be removed from this video immediately." He said, "I can't imagine why anybody would want their music used or associated with something created for the sole purpose of dividing us." He wrote the music for Top Gun. It glorified fighter jets. He's like, "I only want my music to accompany real bombs."
Yeah. Well, Kenny Loggins is no Messina. You know what's interesting, besides me, Julie, is that Tom talked about how the authoritarian example actually defeats authoritarianism, just like the protest. If you have a no kings protest, that's proof that there are no kings.
It's also proof that these people need to do better with their retirement. This is inspiration, in fact, that if you go to college and you have kids and then you get married and then you have grandchildren, that's a better way to spend your time than this. This is very sad. So an inspiration for all of you in college that are considering dropping out, because this is how you're going to turn up. But what's interesting is this, in fact, was just a platform for anti-Israel protests. They had an actual anti-Israeli agenda that had gone cross-country, where they came out and said, from Providence to Palestine, we're going to crash these protests. So everybody who's out here doesn't even understand the negative that they're doing and the harm that they're doing to this country, because rather than lift up America, they're crapping on America, much like the AI video, but in a much more vile way.
Tell me about it. Michael, as a homeless man, it must have been hard when they have these big events and people are always walking around you as you're just on there.
I'm trying to take a shower.
Yes.
I got one bottle of water. I got to go.
I liked the whole no kings thing. They got to keep doing this because they all get together in one area and I can just live my life.
Yeah.
Right? They're not in the coffee shops. It's all the old people, doofus hipsters, and Antifa people, all in one little quadrant. Somebody called them Grand Tifa.
Yeah.
And I thought that was the best. And I want to know exactly how many were there. That way Tom Holman knows how many buses he's going to need next year. It's fantastic.
I think that it was nice of you and inspiration for the No Kings Day to get a lesbian softball player haircut.
Yes.
Amazing. It's either a lesbian softball player haircut or a lesbian postal worker haircut. Or a lesbian police officer haircut.
This is actually lesbian firefighter at the DMV. No Kings too. And it gave birth to so many great memes. Like Nancy Pelosi, when she was ripping the crown. I get one hand on here, that's my drinking hand, and that's my claw for the stock market. We ripped the crown, we just did it up. And Trump, I don't know who does his memes or where he finds them. I want to think that he's in the White House just calling out to his friends. I don't do Trump, I do Chris Walken. But I see him in the White House going, I need a meme for No Kings. Give me something when I'm flying a jet to the Top Gun music, and I just dump a load of crap all over Fifth Avenue. That'd be hilarious.
Kat, what did you think of the memes? Did you enjoy it? Did you find that it was totally unbecoming of a president?
I just don't think it was surprising. It's just more of the same that we've been seeing for like 10 years now. Yes. But kind of with the protests, too. I watched a lot of the people protesting in New York, and some of the signs, it's like, wow, boy, I agree with that. I also think authoritarianism is bad. I also think that the government's too big. But then why are you out here protesting that, and then in a couple weeks you're going to go out and cast your vote for mayor for a communist?
Yes.
I don't understand. I really, these people are ostensibly for small, they're protesting because they want the government to be smaller, and you don't see how that doesn't quite jive with a guy that wants government-run grocery stores.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you spend that time making that sign, writing it all out, and not thinking for 2 seconds about how these two things don't actually match?
That is so depressing when you think about it.
Yeah.
Because the people out, it just shows that they're not even considering this stuff, and we're going to end up paying for all of these
it's like I would love the government to leave me alone. I would love to not. Yes, they're out there. They think that we don't pay enough in taxes.
Yes.
Like the government should be more involved. So what you are marching for on your signs and what you're actually voting for are opposite.
Exactly. All right. Thank you. Thank you for the applause.
That was for Kat.
What?
It was for Kat.
No, it was for me, Julie. It was everything's for me. Everything. Everything.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.